Imagine you are an opposing manager. Your team is preparing to face Dylan Cease, already one of the most difficult pitchers in baseball to read, a man whose fastball seemingly materializes from somewhere behind his own skull before it arrives at the plate with genuinely unsettling velocity. You have done your homework, you have your scouting report, you feel, cautiously, prepared. And then word reaches you from spring training that Cease is adding a changeup, a real one. A weapon he is developing with intent, with purpose, and with the kind of quiet menace that suggests he already knows exactly what it is going to do to you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are an opposing batter in 2026, I would like to extend my sincerest sympathies, because here at the Blue Jays Report, we have been watching this story develop, and I am here to tell you that it is considerably more exciting than the headlines are currently letting on. Let us start with Kevin Gausman, because the fact that it was Gausman who first sounded the alarm about Cease is not a coincidence. This is a man who has spent his career understanding elite pitching at a molecular level. Watching Cease throw his bullpen session, Gausman reportedly came away with a single, overwhelming impression. You simply do not see the ball. It hides behind Cease's back and then emerges from directly behind his head, as if conjured rather than thrown. Gausman called it an element he did not expect. Coming from one of the better pitchers on this roster, that is not a casual compliment. That is one craftsman recognizing another and admitting, with something approaching awe, that the craft is operating at a level beyond what he anticipated. And now, on top of that delivery, on top of a fastball that batters have been struggling to pick up for years, Cease is actively working to add a legitimate changeup to his arsenal this spring. The reports from camp, first surfaced by Keegan Matson, are unambiguous. Cease is developing the pitch with specific purpose, specifically to neutralize left-handed hitters, which has historically represented the most navigable weakness in his otherwise formidable game. Last season, his changeup usage sat at approximately 1% of total pitches thrown. 1%, a ghost of a pitch, barely present. What he is building now is something altogether different, a true third weapon developed with intention, designed to make an already elite profile genuinely complete. If you are not subscribed to the Blue Jays Report, and this is the kind of analysis you want every single day as we build towards opening day, now is a very good time to hit that button, because this conversation is only going to get richer as spring training unfolds. The context around Cease's 2025 season matters here because it is far too easy to let a 4.55 ERA flatten a more complicated picture. The advanced metrics told a story that the surface numbers obscured. He ranked in the 99th percentile in strikeout rate, 6th in all of Major League Baseball in total strikeouts, and his stuff was as electric as it has ever been. The problems were command-related. The walks were excessive, 98th percentile in walks allowed, which means he gave up the 7th most free passes in the entire sport. The home runs accumulated. The whip ballooned to 1.33. These are real issues, and Cease has been admirably direct in acknowledging them, returning to the word consistency again and again in his spring training conversations with the same deliberateness of a man who has identified his flaw and is refusing to look away from it. Here is what makes the changeup development so potentially transformative. A well-executed changeup does not merely get batters out on its own merits, it reshapes the entire at-bat because it introduces doubt into every single pitch that precedes it. A batter who knows a changeup is possible cannot fully commit to sitting on the fastball. The hesitation that doubt creates, that fractional delay in the swing decision, is exactly what makes elite pitchers truly elite. And the timing of this development feels almost poetic, because there is a man in this very rotation who possesses one of the finest changeups of the past 2 decades. Shane Bieber and Dylan Cease, both right-handers, both invested in maximizing their effectiveness and longevity in a Blue Jays uniform, working in the same complex with the same goal in mind. If any meaningful exchange of knowledge occurs between those two about the mechanics and philosophy of that particular pitch, the ripple effects for this rotation could be substantial. I do not think that is an overstatement. I think it is a straightforward observation. On Bieber himself, the news around his forearm management has been measured and calm, and the man's own words carry the settled confidence of someone who knows his body well. He is continuing his long toss progression, taking it slow, and reminding anyone who will listen that he is still inside 2 years from Tommy John surgery. This is not alarm. This is appropriate professional caution from a player in a free agent year who has every incentive to do things correctly. He will be back, and when he is, this rotation will have a quality and depth that should give the rest of the American League genuine pause. Now to John Schneider, because a manager's words at the start of spring training can tell you an enormous amount about the psychological state of a clubhouse, and Schneider's message to his players this week was one I want to sit with for a moment. He was unequivocal. This team is not defending the AL East. It is not defending anything. It is attacking 2026, going after the division, going after the World Series with the same hunger and aggression that defined 2025. I love this framing, and I love it specifically because of what it refuses to do. It refuses to allow last year's achievement to become a ceiling. It refuses to let the American League Championship banner become a comfort blanket. Keegan Matson's observation that this was the most important thing Schneider would say all spring feels exactly right to me. Because momentum without direction becomes inertia, and Schneider is making certain that this group understands the direction has not changed. His development as a manager is worth acknowledging here too. The man has been tested. He has made decisions in high-stakes moments that were dissected mercilessly, and he has emerged from those experiences with a clarity of conviction that this organization genuinely needs. When a manager can stand in front of a room full of professional athletes fresh from a World Series appearance and make them feel hungry rather than satisfied, that is leadership, not merely management. And then there is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who added something to this story that no statistic can quite capture. Vlad said simply that he is happier this year than last year, that the new players are great players, that he has a good feeling. The contract noise is gone. The speculation is settled. For the first time in what feels like a long while, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. sounds like a man who is simply uncomplicated, looking forward to playing baseball. That shift in energy from distracted to liberated could mean more for this team's ceiling than almost any roster move the front office makes between now and opening day. The vibes, as they say, are immaculate, and here at the Blue Jays Report, we will be with you every step of the way as this thing builds. Stay close. It's going to be quite a ride.